Sports betting ads are everywhere. They paint a picture of ecstatic celebrations, flashy cars, and an easy road to luxury. After all, no one ever loses in a gambling ad. The ads are catchy, filled with humor, celebrities, and glittering visuals. But what often goes unnoticed are the covert messages they instill. The normalcy and thrill of taking larger and larger risks, and the perceived simplicity of turning a small bet into a colossal reward. These ads are impossible to escape, and millions of young people are being exposed to them daily. And numerous studies have shown a direct correlation between increased exposure to gambling ads and problem gambling. In today's deconstruction, we're going to look at why sports betting ads are now everywhere, the troubling impact of gambling ads on young people, and whether any real solutions are in the works. There was a time when the cheering of a home run, the uproar of a winning goal, or the exhilaration of a last-minute basket was what defined the excitement of sports. Today, this mix of adrenaline, joy, and unity has an added layer, the glowing screen on your phone flashing betting odds and the promises of massive wins. So how did we get here? Well, in 2018, the US Supreme Court overturned the ban on sports betting that had been in place for decades in most of America. In the years that followed, states began to issue licenses for sports betting businesses in large droves. To date, sports gambling has been approved in 37 states, with more states actively considering its legalization. The boom in sports betting comes as there has recently been an increase in inquiries to the National Problem Gambling Helpline, which saw a 45% jump in people reaching out when compared to previous years. Worse still, in Ohio, calls to the gambling helpline doubled in the first month of legal sports betting being introduced. There's also an incredible amount of money to be made behind the scenes in sports betting. To date, the US sports betting industry has made over $20 billion in revenue, with New Jersey leading the way with $2.8 billion in revenue since legalization. And from this, the state of New Jersey has also collected almost $400 million in taxes. So with sports betting companies and state governments making bank, it makes sense why sports betting ads are everywhere. There is money to be made. However, this comes with consequences. Perhaps the most concerning aspect of ubiquitous sports betting ads is the appeal of these ads to the younger generation. As the lines between sports fandom and betting blur, teenagers and young adults are starting to view betting as just another part of the game. The camaraderie, once founded on supporting a team, has now also incorporated the wins and losses of bets. Younger age groups, with their propensity to seek instant gratification and their susceptibility to peer influences, find themselves at the epicenter of this newly minted betting culture. Sports, once a realm of innocence and pure competition, has slowly been infiltrated by the money-centric worldview of betting. In most states, the minimum gambling age is 21. Yet, we know that most young adults' brains aren't fully mature until 25. And the stats don't paint a pretty picture either. 80% of adolescents have participated in some form of gambling, and 4 to 8% of people between the ages of 12 and 17 have a very serious gambling problem, while another 10 to 15% are at risk for developing a gambling problem. A survey by the NCAA revealed that a majority of underage gamblers typically bet between $1 and $50 and lose between $10 to $300 a day. Money aside, youth that end up in these precarious scenarios tend to end up with increased rates of anxiety and depression. Families are being affected, relationships strained, and futures jeopardized. The promise of an easy win is contrasted by the grim reality of losses, both financial and emotional. The glittering world of sports betting ads seldom portrays the darker side of gambling, but just like an iceberg, the majority of the issues lurk beneath the surface. And as sports betting becomes more normalized, it presents a major risk to the integrity of competitive professional sports. Let's be real, money tends to attract corruption, and the larger the amounts being bet, then the more likely it becomes that one day it'll influence the game, as some people behind closed doors will be willing to bet knowing that the rules of fair play don't apply to them. Corruption and insider trading exist in one of the most highly regulated industries, finance. So what more when it comes to sports betting? The incessant exposure to sports betting ads is priming young minds to add the necessary financial and mental health risks and stresses to their lives. Sports betting companies are paying big money to get your attention, and it's certainly not out of the goodness of their hearts. Worst of all, everybody but you will be raking in the big bucks. Governments, leagues, betting companies, players and celebrities that endorse these platforms all make the money without having to bet a cent. Realistically speaking, sports betting ads aren't going anywhere for at least a few more years. However, there are now people, politicians, and organizations looking to protect the general public, and in particular younger demographics, from being exposed to the attention-hungry sports betting world. This year, the Coalition of Responsible Sports Betting Advertising was created. The NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, WNBA, NASCAR, and MLS have joined media companies NBC Universal and Fox to form the coalition. The coalition says it will work to ensure appropriate sports betting advertising and calls for media publishers to implement internal reviews. On the surface, this does seem pretty toothless, but I guess it's a start and gets the conversation going. Regulators and governments are still scrambling to come up with viable solutions to the proliferation of sports betting ads. And with such large sums of money at play, there's likely a lot of lobbying going on behind the scenes from both those that stand to gain and lose from sports betting. So seeing any meaningful change happen is going to be an uphill battle. Though regulations on the portrayal and frequency of these ads, especially during peak viewing times for younger audiences, could be a start. Moreover, integrating educational campaigns about the potential pitfalls of gambling and ensuring that gambling companies invest in these educational ventures can help in creating a more balanced narrative when it comes to sports betting. Sports betting platforms also do at times intervene and outright ban someone from gambling on their platform if they're caught skirting the minimum age rules. But at that point, it's too late, as the damage would have already been done. Tech-savvy young people easily avoid their in-state ban by using virtual private networks which hide their location, or by making bets on unlicensed gambling websites. It's not to say that gambling or sports betting in and of itself is inherently evil. Like wine in moderation, it can be a pleasant pastime for many. The issue, however, lies in its unchecked promotion and its conflation with sports culture, especially since sports betting ads are targeting an impressionable audience, whether intended or not. Gambling addiction experts view sports betting in the US as a ticking time bomb. Negative effects take years to show their ugly face. When cigarettes first came on the scene, they were being advertised everywhere, and it took several generations to finally start undoing the damage caused by normalizing such a harmful activity. Time is running out to get sports betting ads under control before entire generations are saddled with a new burden they'll have to eventually disentangle. An addiction to gambling is quieter than an addiction to drugs or alcohol, as it is no easy tell. You can be sitting at the dinner table, on your phone, gambling away your house, and not a single person will know until the devastation of your entire family is complete. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next episode. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Deconstructed for video essays on money, wealth, and power.